What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about Lucid, there has been some pretty interesting updates lately. So I wanted to go over some of those and what they potentially might mean. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So the EV guy on Twitter did post this on Friday. So today, Lucid Motors Middle East announced it has opened orders for the Lucid Gravity Touring, which was rather interesting and completely out of left field because from the Q4 earnings, we were under the impression it was going to be coming later this year, as what I believe it was Mark stated. Yeah, Mark. So Mark was the one that said this. And we expect to open orders for the touring trim later this year. So we feel very optimistic about the large market opportunity ahead. And so for those of you that are familiar with Lucid, when they say later this year, they basically mean like end of November or December. That's the unfortunate truth. But at the end of the day, like from 1 month ago when this Q4 earnings did occur to now, what changed? So if we pop over to the American website, it does show Lucid Grand Touring. So obviously everything is correct there. The only interesting thing that's happening from the States standpoint is it doesn't actually allow you to purchase a 2025 Lucid Gravity Grand Touring. You can only do a 2026. So I think that might be an error a little bit, but obviously I wanted to bring that up. Maybe there is more to it that is coming, but I do feel like that's just more of an error. But if we pop over to the Saudi website, you see the Grand Touring as well as the Touring. So ultimately, it shows 416,000. So from 416,000, essentially works out to be, if we do the conversion, about 111,000 USD. So I was under the impression the Touring was going to be roughly around that 70,000 mark. And then of course you add on whatever fees and whatever else, but still came in a little bit higher than I did anticipate. But nonetheless, kind of the bigger question is why are they opening up orders for the touring? And so I feel like it clearly isn't demand related or anything along those lines, but I do feel that logically they want to make AMP-2 special. And I think Faisal's last interview kind of hits home that Saudi Arabia and the PIF are very proud of Lucid, even though essentially it is like an American company. But what is being generated and will be generated from AMP-2, they are proud of. So I feel like Lucid is somewhat giving them a benefit by possibly allowing them to have the launch for the touring. So Mark did state that there was going to be a lot of big marketing pushes, and maybe they are going to be not necessarily fully, but maybe they are going to be separating AMP-1 and AMP-2. So AMP-2 might become fully self-sufficient on its own. We already do know a lot of supply agreements have been done that AMP-2, regardless, is like they have everything in their back door. They can pretty much get everything going. AMP-1, I think with the whole tariff type of scenario, they did state that they're working on doing things and grabbing all the necessary materials locally to avoid any tariffs and issues like that. But I think personally, AMP-2 is a little bit better off. So maybe this is why they are giving them a little bit of a benefit. But nonetheless, it's definitely a very interesting thing. And again, with this upcoming week on the 27th, there is that big event, that big launch, and possibly it might be touring related. Maybe just the official launch of that. So yeah, I think interesting things might be coming. If this, for whatever reason, if we want to jump to a little bit of conclusions and maybe point that Lucid might be ahead of the game, then that is really good. Lucid has always been, for the most part, 6 to 8 months behind their original schedule. So if they are able to move up the touring, definitely that's going to be positive. And better yet, if they are able to move up the midsize from the end of 2026, which was estimated. They did state that as well during the Q4 earnings, but then again, they also mentioned the touring is going to be later this year. So if they're able to whatever move up the midsize, I think that would be huge for the stock price. But nonetheless, let me know your general thoughts. Maybe unpopular opinion, even though I'd stated it might not be. Do you think it is demand related? Do you think that based on just the Grand Touring, there isn't sufficient just demand for that, so they're trying to lower the price for the most part? Even though with the fees, it is a little bit more than what I previously thought. Like I said, I thought it was supposed to be roughly around that 70,000, tack on some fees and so forth, but not at that 111,000. So a little bit off in that regard. So I don't know. Let me know your general thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Discord, completely free. A lot of good people talking about options, stocks, Lucid, a lot of other stocks I cover under other YouTube channels. So definitely pop over there. Free is good. Free is amazing. So definitely pop over there and say hi. But with all that, hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far. And with all that, appreciate all you watching.